Okay, so I'm picking up from where we left off. Again, if that ever happens to you, like I did, you can go to Edit and go to Purge. Um, I can try that again. You can do it again. Press OK. If that doesn't work, if it still says the scratch disks are full, then your computer is probably too full. So you're going to have to free up some space. Or sometimes Photoshop needs an update. So you may need to update Photoshop. Okay, so I had to just clear up some space on my computer. So now I'm back at it. So let me just throw this away really fast. So I'm going to work with this image really quick. So I'm going to show you something we've done before, but I'm just going to give you a little recap. So again, I have this image as a background. I need to make a copy of it. Okay, so I'm going to drag it down to the plus sign and create a copy. And now what I want to do is I'm going to use the magnetic lasso tool, which we've used before, because I want to cut out this flower. Okay. Now again, you just click around what you want to cut out or what you want to select. And in my case, I want to select this flower. And it kind of guesses for you, but see up in here, I'm going to have to tell it what to do because it's pink on pink. It does this by kind of contrast. So sometimes like an off-white flower on a white background, this isn't going to do the best job. But I think we've got enough contrast here. We've got enough of a difference in color and tone that we can get a nice cutout. So I'm doing this pretty quickly because I've showed you this before, but I want to show you a way to kind of work on top of this, which is really fun. Okay, so I'm just clicking, and once you complete the path, you'll see the marching ants. So now I'm going to go to my Move tool. I'm going to click and drag this over to the artboard that I've made for this project. Okay, now obviously this is very small, and that's a little too small for me, so I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Scale, and I'm going to scale it up. Okay, and that looks good to me. Click the Move tool, and there you go. Now I'm just going to very quickly make a couple of copies of this. So to quickly make a copy of a layer, you can press Command J. All right, I made a copy of it. Now I want to make a copy of that one. Command J. Command J. Just making some copies. Or you can take the layer, like we've been doing, drag it down to the plus sign. It makes a copy. Okay? So I've put these flowers in, okay, and I'm really happy with that. So what I want to do is I actually want to merge the flowers into one layer. So there's a couple ways to do this, but the way I'm going to do it is everything that I want to be on one layer, I'm going to have be visible, okay, and you remember you can toggle on and off the visibility with this little eye, and everything that I don't want to be visible, I'm going to turn off. So I would turn the background off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Layer, and click Merge Visible. Okay, so now all those flowers are on one layer. Okay, so I know we've done this before, but I just kind of wanted to show you because I'm going to work on top of this. Okay, so let's see. Now I want to open up. Sorry, my desktop is a mess. Obviously, this is why I needed to clean up space. So I'm going to. I pulled another image that I want to work with. So I'm going to pull it down to Photoshop. Open it up. Okay, and this is the one we were working with in the last tutorial, okay? So I'm actually going to go and close this out. I don't need this. Don't save it. Okay, so there's something cool I want to show you guys how to do. So I'm going to make a copy of this. Press Command J. It made a copy. Using my Move tool, I'm going to click and drag and take it and drop it on top, okay? Now again, I want to transform this so it's larger. Now, since we're kind of messing with shortcuts, so you can go to Edit and press Transform, or you can press Command T, and that the little crosshairs are going to show up for you to transform it. Okay, so I'm going to make it bigger. Let's see how big I can make it. This is kind of a grainy image, so it may be a little grainy. So let's see. Once I have it the size I want it, click the Move tool. Okay, that looks all right. Okay, let's move that up just a little bit. So now, obviously, I've blocked everything underneath it, okay? But I wanted to show you this because I want to play around with the opacity, okay? So we've talked about opacity a little bit in this class, right? So how opaque something is. If something is opaque, you can't see through it, okay? Light is not moving through it. So I want to play around with that, okay? So we've got the opacity at 100%, which means you cannot see through this layer. But I'm going to bump this down, and you'll see you can start to see through it, okay? So now it's more translucent, okay? So this is a really cool way to kind of play with images and give yourself kind of a fade, like some cool, like you just like blending images together is really cool, and this will help you as you're working on your collages. Now let's see, I'm going to do one more thing. So let's play here. I'm going to create another layer, and I don't really like how light this is. I think this is all too light, okay, because my background is white. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to change it to a yellow. So I just click on this color, and I'm going to go down to my yellows. It's a little too green. Let's kind of get a warm, kind of orangey yellow. And I am going to fill, see, it's clicked on layer 2. I'm going to fill this layer. Okay, so now I have a much warmer, it really kind of, it took the edge off a little bit, and now I like this a lot better. Okay, so one more thing I want to do. So this is kind of, you know, working together. These are just a couple of new tools that I want to show you how to work with. So now I want to give myself another, I want to make a copy of this layer again. Okay, so I'm going to press Command J, but this time I want this to be on top. So I'm just going to drag it up to the top. And so now you see I have these, you know, the much brighter flowers, because you remember we changed the opacity of this and it's on top of this, so you're seeing through it to this. But now since I've moved this around a little bit, you can see these flowers are really bright. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag, because I like those other flowers. I think they look really cool. But I also want some pops of the bright pink, okay? So that's another thing you can do. You can kind of play around with what order everything goes in, you know, and that will, you know, as I tend to kind of move things around as I'm working just to see what they look like. I can also, again, I can change this. I can transform it. Let's press Command T. All right, I'm going to scale it up a little bit. All right, so I kind of have, that way they look a little bit different than what I had before. So these are just a couple of things I wanted to show you. Actually, you know what? Let's change the color of these. So let's go to which we learned in the earlier tutorial. Again, go to Adjustments. Let's go to, where is it? Hue, Saturation. Okay, and now I didn't show you saturation. So saturated, how saturated something is, which we've talked about early in the semester, is how, yeah, the intensity of it. Oh, so you know what? It's changing the hue of the overall image. Oh, well, that's kind of a bummer. It's not really what I wanted. But that's okay. You know, you could always put this on its own, you know, on its own artboard and change the hue and then move it over. Okay, so it looks like, I wonder if it'll do it if we turn these off. Let's just play with the hue of this. Nope. Oh, that's because that's turned off too. Okay. All right, let's play around with that. So let's just make these, oh, that's cool. Let's make these blue. And let's see what it does. Oh, see, it did that as well. Oh man, that looks really cool, doesn't it? Okay, cool. Well, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of different things that you can play around with, okay? So play around with the adjustments, play around with opacity, and cut things out, move things around, scale them up, scale them down. Just a couple of tools to help you as you work on your collages. So I hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.